Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 4. I just published an episode called What is a Ploppy? And I think it's a very important episode to listen to. I think everyone should listen to it and learn from it. If someone had explained a lot of these things to me earlier, I would have made more money as well. So this morning I had two different areas I was going to go to, and I decided on one. It's not a lot of opportunity, but it's higher EV. So I think I can expect about $500 in expected value today. I would love to make $1,500 or $2,000, but I think $500 is very reasonable. Just certain things going on in this area, and that's why I am coming here. Most likely, I'm only going to hit 3 casinos today. There's an opportunity for a 4th and even a 5th, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do that. If I do decide to add those, it would be early in the day. I can't add those extra casinos toward the end because I would not be in that area. I do have a few meetings this morning. I have one meeting this morning in about 7 minutes, and then I have some meetings this afternoon, which are going to slow me down, but that's why I left the house really early this morning. When I left home, it was 30 degrees outside and no frost on my windshield. Instead, there was freezing rain covered with snow on my windshield, so that was nice. And as I started traveling, I realized that the roads had not been cleared, and although there wasn't really snow on the roads, there was ice on the roads, and it was rough going for the first half hour or so until I got to the main road that I'm on right now. Right now, the temperature is 27 degrees, and the sun is up. I recently just did that episode, so that took about a half hour. I'm about to start a meeting, and right now I am still an hour away from my first casino, and I'm going to get this meeting done, go in there, make some money, and I'll be back to update you, let you know what happens. Alright guys, I am back. I'm just pulling into the area where this casino is, and it is a mess here. Snow on the ground, snow plows, slippery roads, dirty roads, drifting snow on the roads. Not very pleasant. So I'm wondering here how much opportunity is going to go in there. Is going to be in there. It may be that people stayed home. It may be that hustlers stayed home. I don't know. So we'll find out. But right now, I gotta watch the road and hopefully get there safely, and then I'll be back and update you. All right, guys, I am back. I am just leaving this place. I was actually in there for 45 minutes, and I really looked everywhere for a play. I actually walked around the place twice before I finally sat down at a machine. Everything had been cleaned out. There was almost no one in there. I looked and looked, and there were so few people in there that I had to check machines in portions, like there might be 4 of them next to each other. So I checked 2 of them and walk away and come back and check 2 more, because there were more people working there than there were people playing. So they were always hanging around. I finally decided on a play, and I sat down, played it for a second, and actually it paid out pretty well. Ended up ahead about $100 on that play. And then there's another one that I don't play very often, primarily because it's just not in my local area, or even within a couple hours of my local area, so I don't even get a chance to play it very often. But every time I'm here, I find a play on it, and it pays pretty well. And so I sat down, and there's 2 of those machines, and I looked through both machines and found a couple plays, and actually ended up ahead. I'm looking at this machine here. On this machine, like 350 351, something like that, profit on that machine. So that really helped out a lot. I think I only played maybe 3 machines the whole time, but everything paid out beautifully, so I can't really complain about it. And then I was checking a machine next to a lady. She'd been there forever. I just wanted to see if there's anything there because I couldn't find anything. And there was $2 on the floor. So she was on the left, and then there's a chair to her right, and then the $2 was at the base of the chair. So I sat down and I said, "Were you sitting in this chair before?" She said, "No." I said, "Okay, just wondering because I found $2. I didn't know if it was yours." So I ended up keeping the $2. And I think I found a total of like 80 cents in machines. I mean, I was scrounging for everything before I finally found some plays. And overall, together, I ended up leaving ahead $480. Well, $480.49. We'll call it $480. So that was actually pretty excellent for the way it started. Everywhere I walked, there were employees watching me, and I couldn't find a play. So it's not like I would check something in front of them and it would be good and I would sit down and play it. I would check something, walk away, check something, walk away, and I was getting a little bit, worried about it because that's all I was doing. Anyway, I can't believe that the roads are so horrible here. Right now I am doing 28 miles an hour on my way to the next casino. It is been on my way for a little while. It is 4 miles away, and it's going to take 15 minutes to get there, it looks like, by the way traffic is. So just sit back and relax, check out my work stuff, make sure I'm all caught up on that. There is a lot of work that needs to be done, updates and things that I need to do to documents, so I'll probably work on that when I get home tonight, and then I should be good. So tonight and tomorrow in the evenings I'll catch up, and then next week when I see the other employees at the office, I should be all up to date. So right now, letting you go, and I'll be back soon. Alright guys, I am back. Wow, that was something. Oh man, I go into this place and I'm looking around and I find a play right away. It's a similar play to one that I abandoned yesterday. So now I'm positive the software got updated, and I had a very similar experience, and I ended up abandoning it again. Then on the other side of the casino, I found the same type of machine in an even better position. I ended up playing that through, and that should have been way, way, way in the money. At 75 cents a spin, I should have left ahead like $60, and I ended up down $10. So now I'm starting to see why I'm finding these, because other people have figured out that they've tightened them up quite a bit, and it's too bad. So we're going to have to keep adapting. So after those couple plays, I was down about $100. Let's see, what did I do after that? I found another okay play on a okay machine, and that one was awful. I ended up losing $300 on that one. That was at $3 a spin. So I'm frustrated, and I said, I'm just going to take one more lap around. And I thought to myself, this is what I get for publishing. I was 6-0 and then 5-0 the last 2 days, and it's coming, it's caught up with me. But at that point, I was down 400, and I go to the high limit area, and I find a play there on a machine I don't like, but it's positive EV, so I end up playing that one, and I put 100 in, lose that. I put another 100 in, lose most of that before it finally hits, and let me see, the final payout amount was, okay, I had $106 left in the machine. So the second time I put 200 in, so I was in for a total of 700 for the day, for the session. And the payout on the machine was $1,120. So I'm like, holy. So by the time everything was all settled and everything and all the extra little here, little there, I ended up ahead $526 after being down $594 before hitting that. So thankfully that worked out. Hopefully we don't have to keep going through these huge ups and downs. It's my personality. I like to build things up slowly. I like, even when I play certain games and stuff, just the method that I use is to, I play like Risk and stuff. I secure an area, fortify it, and slowly eat away at what the other player has. And that's the way I gamble as well. I just try to pick up bits and pieces here and there. And a lot of the huge plays, I've not played anymore because I had such gigantic swings there for a while. There were days where I was, back to back losing, four figures on slots, which is pretty difficult. And anyway, all right, so plus 526 there. We're going to head off to the next spot. I do have a meeting. So at the next spot, I have a little tiny bit of free play, and I have a free buffet. So by the time I get there, it's going to be an hour before my meeting. I'm going to run through the casino, get whatever I can, go eat the buffet, and then go to the car, do my meeting. And the person I'm doing this meeting with is someone that is going to be helping me with the next steps at work to automate the job this other guy was doing that he was spending 50 plus hours a week on. I feel I can cut it down to about 10 hours a week, and the next step is going to be through this person. So I'm going to explain my plan, and if it looks like it's okay with her, then I'm going to go ahead and implement it tonight, and then it'll take her about a month of testing before we know for sure that it's good. Then we'll move it to the staging server and make sure it works there, and then go live. So I'm hoping in 4 to 6 weeks I can have this implemented, and instead of doing 60 hours of work like this guy was doing, cut it way down. This would take about a quarter of the time out that would be required, but it would lay the foundation that would make it easy for us to go all the way. So once this works out, then it's just a matter of just pushing a button to make the whole thing work. So we would just ease into it. If it works, do the whole thing. All right, so much talking, so many words. Moving on to the next spot, and I'll be back to update you soon. Okay, guys, it is 5 hours and 45 minutes later, and that's always good news. So let me catch you up on what's going on. It has been a crazy day. Okay, so I walk into the casino. It's early. I mean, it's not even lunchtime when I walk in. Right now it's dark outside. It's past dinner time. I walk in, look at things, can't find anything to play. Mess around a little bit, finally find a couple small plays as far as slot machines, and end up ahead like 104, right? I go play some blackjack. Actually, before that, I have something to eat. Then I go to the car, and I do my meeting. And the meeting actually gives me a lot of homework to do that there's no way I'm going to be able to get done tonight. So after the meeting, I go back in and I play blackjack, and I play $100 table, and the expectation is that I'm going to win between $1,500 and $2,000, and I'm just going nowhere. I'm just chopping back and forth with the dealer. At one point, I think I had won 3 hands, pushed 9 hands, and lost 3 hands. And it was just going back and forth like that, and I was going nowhere. At my low point, I was only down 300 or 400, and at my high point, I ended up ahead 500, and that was after about 45 minutes at 100 a hand. And I think the highest bet I had out there was 200. I just didn't have any opportunities. So I ended ahead 500. Little did I know that would be the highlight of my day, that I should have been happy at that point and just let it go. I go back to play some slots, and I find a couple other opportunities, and all of them go miserably. And I end up down 211 on the slots. Now, I've been looking at and experimenting with some things that people have told me that I've met in casinos, things that they do, and things that casinos won't let you do. So I wanted to test this out. So someone told me that he would bet, don't do this at home, by the way, you're at a 5% disadvantage if you do this, but this is what he told me. He told me that he would bet the second, third, and third thirds when you're betting 12s, like so from 13 to 24, from 25 to 36. And he would bet on a 6-number bet, 6 through 10, or 7 through 12. So basically you're putting 1 unit on 7 through 12 and 2 units each on 13 to 24 and 25 to 36, okay? And your goal is for it not to hit 0, 00, or 1 through 6. If you do that, you win 1 unit. So you bet 5, you win 1, right? So your odds of getting it are, 70-something percent, right? It's more than that, 80-something percent. But if you lose, you have to win 5 times to break even. But here's what I was testing. I wasn't testing the play because I tested it already on an app, and it works until it doesn't work. Just like doubling your bet every time works until it doesn't work. So I go to a table, and the minimum is 10, so I've got my voucher. I put it in this machine. It's a roulette machine with a real ball, right? So it's a little bit more honest than the roulette machines are slot machines that pay slot machine percentages, so you're going to lose 15% instead of 5 on those. So anyway, I put the bets out. I put the second, third, and third bet out, and I go to bet the 6 numbers, and it won't let me. Interesting. He was right. You are not allowed to do that anymore. Okay, so I said, okay, well, what if I bet 4 numbers and then bet the other 2 numbers? It'll let you bet the 4, but not the other 2. So you have to have at least 10 numbers exposed when you're betting it, or it won't let you bet. Now, I didn't test it to see if you could bet like 34 numbers straight up, because it only gives you 30 seconds to bet, and I didn't want to get caught and end up having the bet go through. But so they are limiting what you can do, even if it gives you a short-term advantage for a minute, which really your EV is negative, and they still limit what you can do on that. That's amazing. I did try another thing, which is betting black, and then the third column, which would be all the numbers divisible by 3, and it would let you do that. That one is not as much of an advantage, and you leave more than 10 numbers. So maybe that's what's going on with that. So pretty incredible to me that they actually closed that, even though it's not really a loophole. You want people to do that all day long because they do it all the time. They're giving you 5%, and they're doing it on big amounts of money, right? So you have to bet a minimum of 10. So to do what this guy was doing, you have to bet a minimum of 50, 10 on each bet on the outside, including the 6 numbers, which I think it would consider outside. So it'd be 10, 20, 20, $50, and it still won't let you do it, even though they're making $2.50 profit off that. Anyway, so after all that was done, I decided to go back to the blackjack area. At this point, it's been a little while, and I wanted to go back there and take another run at it. I was never ahead from the moment that I sat down. Maybe I got ahead at the end. I'll let you know here in a second. But I immediately started losing and losing and losing and losing. And in a fashion like you wouldn't believe. And not just me, but anyone who came to the table. And it was no mid-shoe, which I appreciate, because if it's no mid-shoe, then at least I can have a whole shoe to myself whenever nobody's there to start with me. I can at least do the whole shoe alone. So anyway, I'm losing like crazy, and I've got negative counts like crazy. I can't put any big bets out. And I'm talking 5 or 6 shoes with no positive counts. And I'm thinking, this is just terrible. So I decide At one point, I was at a minus 13 running count halfway through a shoe, and I said, "This is it. I gotta walk." At that point, I was down. I was involved for 4,500, and I had 300. So I go to another table. I'm down 4,200, and that table starts getting me back, and I start doing better, and I get it up to about 2,000, and then it starts going bad again. And at least that table, I'm able to put out $200, $300 bets, $400 bets. I'm starting to have an opportunity to make some money, but all my doubles were just getting destroyed. And let's see, I remember one double. Well, let's just say most of my doubles, I got in either a 3, 4, or 5 on my double down, unless I had a soft hand, and in that case, I got a 10. And this was like endless. And, I don't know, dealers, they probably just acting like they care, or acting like this doesn't happen, but it was happening all over today. And I ended up having to rebuy for more. Now I'm involved for 5,500, and I get it up to about 2,000. No, I'm involved for 6,000. I get it up to about 2,000, and the count goes to like a minus 18 early in a shoe. I look over at the table I came from an hour before, and it was empty. So I said, this shoe's just going the wrong way. I'm having bad luck, blah, blah, blah. All the excuses, and I switch tables. I go to the other table. I'm getting slaughtered again. So anyway, I start battling back, and I start losing, and pretty soon I got to a point where I'm at like 3,000. And I'm actually, no, I want to take that back. I actually got to 4,500 because I had 1,500 in chips in my pocket, and I had 3,000 on the table. So when I was saying 3,000, I was thinking about the chips I had on the table. So 3,000 in chips on the table, 1,500 in my pocket. I've got 4,500. I'm only 1,500 away, right? So I'm going to do this. What's the big deal? Have you seen SpongeBob? 3 hours later. It took total playing blackjack. I was playing for almost 4 hours. And I was bopping around between 4,500 and 5,500 forever. And then I would drop down to like 2,500, get back to 4,500. I was at 4,500 half the time, but I couldn't get anywhere. And I'd get 700 away, 800 away, and go down, so I'm 4,000 away. And then back again, back and forth. And finally I had a $300 hand. I was down 500. I had a $300 hand. I got a 8-3 against a dealer 10 with a running 7 count with 2 decks to go. Should be fine. And I get a 9. And dealer has dealer had a face card. And dealer gets a 21. And that was just so heartbreaking, like getting punched in the gut. So still, it took a lot longer, and eventually I got close again. I had 3 more chances to get ahead, and they all failed. And eventually I got to the point, and they had me in the computer wrong. They had me in as 4,500, 4,000 for this session instead of 6,000. But I'll double check what's in my pocket. I know for sure I'm right and they're wrong. Anyway, so I end up finally getting over the hump, and the shoe ends, and a guy had just come to the table, and he wanted to play. And I was talking like I was still down, even though I was up. Even though they had me in the computers being up, all this stuff, I was talking like I was still down a few hundred. And I decided to leave. So I ended the session ahead $300, spreading from 100 to 500. Only got the $500 bets out like 3 or 4 times. The low for the session was minus 5,600. The high for the session was plus 300. and that was my session, and I ended up walking out. I cashed out 2,300, and I've got 4,000 in my pocket. They ID you at 3,000, and the current cashier I think is still going to be there for another hour. So I'm going to probably go back in there after I talk to my wife, let her know what's going on, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. Lots of stuff to go over with you. So when I went back in there, the biggest goal was maybe play a little bit more, but I wanted to cash out chips. I had $4,000 in chips, maybe more. I think I had 4,000 in chips. So I didn't see any slots that had anything, so I decided to go to the poker area. They had a 1-3 and a 2-5 table that were open. I tried to get in on the 2-5 because I could buy in for a higher amount and have more chips that I could cash out later. But it turns out someone had taken the seat, so I ended up on a 1-3 table. So I go to get chips, and I've got 8 $500 chips. So I ask for, I give them 3 $500 chips. I ask for $1,200 in black and $300 in red. I go to the table, start playing with the red, and after about half an hour, 45 minutes, I go to the cashier, and I ended up cashing out like $21.95. I cashed out an odd number on purpose. I brought the rack from the poker room on purpose to show I was playing poker, and I got the money from the poker, not from blackjack, and so on. So that worked out no problem. So I still had like whatever, 1,800 in chips. So I was playing poker. I was never really up too much. I was up maybe like $60 or $70, and I was down as much as like $475 or something like that. And then finally, when everything was over, I was done. I ended that session for the for the poker, down $128. So minus 128 on the poker. We had some interesting things though. So at this place, if you have a higher tier card, you can get some drinks for free, Red Bulls and things like that. So I got that higher tier card the first day that I was there pretty much. So you could get as many as you want, but you just had to show them the card. So no problem. I get Red Bull for me, a Red Bull for somebody else, and then people wanted other drinks. So, but the waitress wasn't coming back. So it was over an hour that they had pushed the button for the waitress to come, and she hadn't come back. Well, it turns out that she only does the poker room, but she knows which people tip the best, so she doesn't even go to the other tables. So we ended up having to wait until another waitress came by, and then everybody ordered, 2 waters, give me 2 Pepsis, and, whatever. And I ended up ordering some more stuff for people. This waitress, however, wanted me to hold up the card and my ID to show that it was me. And of course, I covered my name on both. And she said, "Oh, okay," because she just didn't want to get in trouble with whoever. I don't know who the hell is really watching to see if the waitress is checking the ID to make sure the right person's card is being used. But whatever, I did what I needed to do. And we had some interesting hands. I had 3 hands actually, where either on the flop or on the turn I had a royal flush draw, and none of them came to pass. Although I think 2 of them either made a flush or a straight. And then toward the end there, a guy comes to the table, older guy, and he is grumpy like crazy. He comes to the table, he takes all the drinks that people had already finished that were still on the trays, and like angrily picks them up and throws them away in the trash can, even though that's like the waitress's job, I think. I don't know. If I see the trash can, I would do it. But anyway, so then I'm talking to this Asian guy across from me. So I'm sitting in seat 8 or 9, depending on how many people are at the table. I'm next to the dealer, and the guy's at seat 6, and I'm showing him something on my phone. And this guy's like so grumpy. He's like saying to the guy, "Don't lean in front of me. I'll punch you if I have to get you out of my way. And really scared this young Asian kid. He's probably like 22, 23 years old. Actually, he's Chinese for sure. He said he was, but say Asian just in case, so you don't offend anybody. Anyway, the guy apologized profusely. He didn't want the guy to punch him out, even though the guy's like 70-something years old and probably wasn't going to do that. But anyway, wrapped it all up with the poker, and I was on my way to cash out my chips. And of course, I saw a slot machine that needed to be played. It was calling me, "Please, Joe, come play." So this is a machine that I play often, and it's rarely in position at this place because there's so many people playing them. So I sat down there, played that for a few minutes. Had put the rack right on the machine there with the chips in it, and played it through, and ended up winning another 164 at that machine, so that made up for the poker and a little bit more. And I also got a gift card to a local grocery store, and I would, I have like thousands of dollars of these, like $4,000 of these, and I just realized when I went to this grocery store, I don't go shopping, but I went there recently with one of my kids, and I noticed they had gift cards, including Amazon. So I bought a bunch of Amazon gift cards, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I noticed that this grocery will give you points for discounts for gasoline if you buy the Amazon cards with their cards, because it's considered cash. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to trade all these in for Amazon, because my wife is just, every day Amazon's at our house delivering something that we can't live without. So I'm going to do that, and the ones I just got today also, I'll be doing that as well. So overall, how did we do? I don't know. How did we do? Let's see. We were up 1,000 before we came here. 15, 14, 13, 15, 16. So we're up like 1,600 plus the gift cards, so close to 2,000. So it was a good day, and we've already made our goal for the week. And I'm gonna play tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be another long day. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be like 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I get home already, and then I'll be gone by like 6 in the morning. And I have work to do tonight. I've got to create some tickets. I've got to resolve some tickets, and I got to do my night shift duties. So I'm going to try to do my duties on my way home here in a little bit. And when I get home, if I have the energy, I will try to finish the other stuff. If not, I'll carry it over into the weekend and get it done over the weekend. This weekend, our goal is to finish booking all our stuff for the Europe trip, get that finalized. I noticed some of the trains in Europe will be as little as like $80 or $90 at 5 p.m. or 9 p.m., but they could be as high as $200 or $300 in the daytime. So I want to make sure we get the right times booked and the hotels booked correctly, so that we can get off the train and book the hotel and go to the hotel without being stranded somewhere. So let's see. I guess really that's about it. It's getting darn cold outside. Right now it's 23 degrees outside, and I'm on my way home, and I'm almost out of gas, so I'll stop, get some gas, get some food. It's been about 9 hours since I ate, so do all that stuff, and just, I think it was a good day. I'm tired, but I'd rather do this than work a job, that's for sure. So anyway, letting you go for now. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.